Ladies and gentlemen, there's a difference between those who achieve greatness and those who merely exist. It's not luck, it's not talent alone. It's something deeper, something forged through struggle, through discipline, through an unshakable mindset. Mentally strong people don't chase comfort. They embrace discomfort. They understand that growth happens in the moments of unease. They don't run from challenges. They run toward them. The greatest innovations, the biggest breakthroughs, the moments that define history were never born out of comfort. They were carved out of adversity by those who refused to back down. If you want to be extraordinary, you have to be willing to step into the unknown, to take risks that scare you, to do the things others won't. So emotions are powerful. They can fuel you, or they can chain you. But mentally strong people don't let their emotions control them. Fear, it's an illusion. Doubt, a distraction. Anger, a fire that, if not controlled, burns everything. Instead of being consumed by emotions, they use them as fuel, channeling them into something productive. They respond, not react. They control their narrative. Growth doesn't stop when school ends. It doesn't stop when you reach success. Mentally strong people are relentless learners. They read, they listen, they absorb, they evolve. They never say, "I know enough." They are obsessed with improving, with understanding, with mastering new skills. The world is changing every day, and the moment you stop learning, you start falling behind. The best never settle. They remain students forever. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. Every setback, every mistake, every rejection, it's a lesson. Mentally strong people don't see failure as an end. They see it as a beginning. They don't ask, "Well, why did this happen to me?" You ask, "What can I learn from this?" Because they know the ones who rise after falling are the ones who win in the end. Resilience is the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. And finally, focus. In a world full of noise, distractions, and temptations pulling you in every direction, mentally strong people have clarity. They don't waste energy on things that don't matter. They cut the noise. They protect their time, their energy, their vision. They know where they're going, and they refuse to be derailed. Focus is the superpower of the greats. When you can lock in on your goals with laser-like intensity, there is nothing that can stop you. So ask yourself, are you ready to be uncomfortable? Are you willing to master your emotions? Will you commit to lifelong learning? Can you stand back up after every fall? And will you focus with everything you have? Because if you do, if you embody these 5 habits, you won't just be strong, you'll be unstoppable. I tried to create a document for your speech, but an error occurred, and I couldn't complete the process. You can still copy the speech from here, or I can try again if you'd like. Let me know how you'd like to proceed. Number 1, embrace discomfort, the path to true strength. Think about the moments that defined you, the times when you grew the most. Were they moments of ease, of comfort? No. Real growth, real strength is forged in discomfort. The people who achieve greatness, who break barriers and redefine what's possible, are the ones who embrace discomfort, who step willingly into the unknown. The world is filled with people who choose comfort over challenge. They stay where it's safe, where it's familiar, where they don't have to face fear, rejection, or failure. And because of that, they never become who they were meant to be. They let fear dictate their choices, and in doing so, they stay trapped in mediocrity. But the strongest minds, the ones that truly change the game, reject that path. They understand that discomfort is not an obstacle. It's the way forward. If you look at the greatest innovators, the strongest leaders, and the most resilient individuals, you'll notice a pattern. They deliberately seek challenges. They understand that true growth happens when they push themselves beyond what they think they're capable of. It's not that they don't feel fear. It's not that they don't experience doubt. It's that they refuse to let those feelings hold them back. Picture a young athlete training for the Olympics. Every muscle in their body burns, their mind screams at them to stop, to rest. But they don't. They lean into the pain because they know that discomfort today means strength tomorrow. The same principle applies to every aspect of life, whether it's learning a new skill, building a business, or developing mental resilience. If it feels easy, you're not growing. If it feels safe, you're not evolving. Mentally strong people welcome discomfort because they understand that it's temporary, but the growth it brings is permanent. When they take on a challenge, they know they might fail, and they accept that. In fact, they embrace it. Failure to them is not a sign to stop. It's a sign to keep going. But here's where most people get stuck. They wait until they feel ready. They tell themselves, I'll take that risk when I have more experience, more knowledge, more confidence. But that moment never comes. Readiness is an illusion. Growth doesn't happen first and then lead to action. It's the other way around. Action creates growth. You step into discomfort, and that discomfort shapes you into someone stronger. Think about the most successful entrepreneurs. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions. They took risks when others hesitated. They stepped into uncertainty with nothing but an idea and the belief that they could figure it out along the way. That is the mindset of someone who embraces discomfort. So the question is, are you choosing comfort or are you choosing growth? Are you avoiding the difficult conversation because it's uncomfortable? Are you holding back on a dream because you're afraid of failure? Are you staying where it's safe instead of pushing yourself to a new level? If the answer is yes, then you have a decision to make. You can stay where you are, or you can step into the fire of discomfort and let it forge you into something greater. The choice is yours. But remember this, every great achievement, every bold idea, every moment of transformation begins at the edge of your comfort zone. Dare to step beyond it. Number 2, master emotional control, the key to unstoppable power. Think about the most powerful, influential people in history. The ones who changed the world, who built empires, who overcame the impossible. Were they the smartest? Maybe. Were they the most talented? Possibly. But there's one trait they all had in common: unshakable emotional control. Most people think success is about intelligence, luck, or even hard work. But in reality, the deciding factor is how well you control your emotions. Because the truth is, life will test you. It will throw obstacles in your path. It will present challenges designed to break you. And in those moments, the people who react emotionally, who panic, who lash out, who let fear dictate their decisions, are the ones who fall. But those who master their emotions, who stay calm under pressure, who refuse to let temporary feelings define their actions, those are the ones who rise. Let's be clear. Controlling your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It doesn't mean pretending fear, anger, or frustration don't exist. It means acknowledging them, understanding them, and then deciding with absolute clarity whether those emotions serve you or whether they are holding you back. Take fear, for example. Fear is an emotion designed to protect us, but in today's world, fear often stops us from taking action. It whispers, what if you fail? What if they reject you? Or what if you're not good enough? And most people listen. They let fear control their choices. They stay in jobs they hate, in relationships that drain them, in lives that don't inspire them, all because they are afraid. But mentally strong people, they feel fear and they move forward anyway. They recognize that fear is just a signal, not a command. They analyze it, they understand it, and then they choose whether or not to act on it. Now let's talk about anger. Anger is powerful. It can drive people to greatness, or it can destroy everything in its path. Most people let anger control them. They react in the heat of the moment. They say things they regret. They make impulsive decisions. And in doing so, they lose control. But the strongest minds use anger as fuel. They don't let it consume them. They channel it. They take the energy of anger and turn it into discipline, into drive, into determination. The same goes for doubt. Every person who has ever achieved something great has faced doubt. Doubt from others, doubt from within. The weak let doubt paralyze them. The strong recognize it for what it is. A challenge, a test. They turn doubt into motivation, proving to themselves and the world that they are more capable than anyone imagined. But here's the real secret. Emotional control isn't just about mastering negative emotions. It's about mastering positive ones too. Think about how many people get excited about an idea, start strong, but then lose momentum the moment things get difficult. Motivation fades, passion burns out. That's why the strongest individuals don't rely on fleeting feelings. They operate on discipline, on consistency, on the ability to keep going whether they feel like it or not. So how do you master emotional control? First, become aware of your emotions. When you feel fear, anger, doubt, or frustration, pause. Ask yourself, is this emotion serving me? If not, don't let it dictate your actions. Second, train yourself to respond, not react. The difference between successful and unsuccessful people is that the unsuccessful react on impulse, while the successful take a breath, assess the situation, and respond with intention. And finally, practice emotional resilience. Life will test you, but if you refuse to be shaken by temporary feelings, if you choose logic over impulse, discipline over emotion, then nothing can stop you. Master your emotions and you master your future. Number 3, commit to lifelong learning, the secret to endless growth. Imagine two people standing at the starting line of a race. One of them believes they already know everything they need to succeed. The other believes they are just getting started, that there is always more to learn, always another level to reach. Now, fast forward 10 years. Who do you think has made the most progress? The answer is obvious. The moment you stop learning, you stop learning, you stop growing. The world is changing every second. Technology is evolving, industries are shifting, and new ideas are emerging. Those who refuse to adapt, who believe they already have all the answers, are left behind. But those who commit to lifelong learning, who stay curious, who remain students no matter how much they achieve, those are the ones who rise to the top and stay there. Look at the greatest minds in history. Einstein, Da Vinci, Musk, Jobs. What do they all have in common? It's not just intelligence. It's not just talent. It's an insatiable hunger for knowledge. They never stop learning, never stop questioning, never stop pushing themselves to understand more, to think bigger, to go deeper, deeper. That's the difference between people who plateau and people who break barriers. The world rewards those who seek knowledge. But here's the mistake most people make. They think learning stops after school, that education is something you complete. That's not how success works. School might give you a foundation, but real learning, the kind that makes you unstoppable, is something you have to chase for the rest of your life. The strongest, most successful people in the world read every day. They seek out mentors. They ask questions. They challenge their own beliefs. They understand that knowledge is power, but only if you keep acquiring it. The moment you believe you know enough, the moment you stop feeding your mind, is the moment you start falling behind. But let's be real. Learning isn't always easy. It forces you to confront what you don't know. It forces you to be uncomfortable, to admit ignorance, to challenge ideas you once thought were true. That's why most people avoid it. They'd rather stay comfortable in what they already know than step into the uncertainty of what they don't. But comfort is the enemy of growth. The people who achieve greatness are the ones who lean into discomfort, who embrace the struggle of learning something new, even when it's difficult. Here's the truth. The most dangerous phrase in the world is, "I already know that." The moment you say those words, you shut the door to growth. You limit yourself. Instead, the strongest minds ask, "What can I learn from this?" They seek out information from unexpected places. They study different perspectives. They understand that even the smallest insight can change everything. Now you might be thinking, "I don't have time to read books every day. I don't have the luxury to sit and learn all the time." But learning isn't about formal education. It's about being curious, about finding lessons in everyday life. It's about listening more than you speak. It's about asking better questions. It's about seeking knowledge instead of waiting for it to come to you. So here's the challenge. Commit to learning something new every single day. Read books, listen to podcasts, talk to people who know more than you. Surround yourself with those who challenge you to think bigger. Because the reality is, you are either growing or you are shrinking. There is no standing still. The world is moving forward. Are you moving with it? Lifelong learning isn't just a habit. It's a mindset. And the people who master it are the ones who shape the future. Number 4, resilience and failure, turning setbacks into success failure. The word alone makes most people uncomfortable. It carries a weight, stigma, a sense of defeat. But here's the truth. Failure is not the enemy. It is the foundation of success. Every great innovator, every legendary athlete, every world-changing leader has one thing in common. They failed over and over again. Again, the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't that successful people never fail. It's that they refuse to let failure stop them. Resilience is the ability to get knocked down and stand up stronger. It's the mindset that says, this setback is not the end. It's just part of the journey. And that's what separates the great from the average. Most people experience failure and give up. They take it as a sign that they weren't meant to succeed, that they aren't good enough, that the dream was never possible in the first place. But the mentally strong, they see failure as feedback. They analyze it, learn from it, and use it as fuel to come back even harder. Think about Thomas Edison. He failed over 10,000 times before finally inventing the light bulb. If he had stopped at failure number 100, or 500, or even 9,999, the world would be a very different place. But he didn't quit, because he understood something most people don't. Failure isn't final. It's a lesson, a stepping stone, a necessary part of the process. The strongest minds know that every failure contains a lesson. Instead of seeing it as proof of their limitations, they see it as a map showing them what needs to be adjusted. They don't take failure personally. They don't let it define them. They use it to refine their approach, sharpen their skills, and come back even better. But resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about growing through failure. The most successful people in the world don't just recover from setbacks. They use them as catalysts for transformation. They embrace the struggle, knowing that it's shaping them into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. So, how do you build resilience? First, reframe your mindset about failure. Stop seeing it as a dead end and start seeing it as a detour. Every setback contains valuable information. It's up to you to extract it. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? That simple shift in perspective changes everything. Second, develop emotional strength. Failure can be painful, but mentally strong people don't let their emotions control them. They acknowledge the disappointment, the frustration, but they don't dwell on it. They pick themselves up and move forward because they know that success is not about avoiding failure. It's about outlasting it. Third, take consistent action. The biggest mistake people make after failure is hesitation. They let fear creep in and suddenly they stop taking risks. But if you want to build resilience, you have to keep moving. Small steps, even if it's uncomfortable, you must keep pushing forward. Action creates momentum, and momentum leads to breakthroughs. And finally, surround yourself with resilient people. The company you keep affects your mindset more than you realize. If you surround yourself with people who quit at the first sign of difficulty, you'll start believing that failure means it's time to stop. But if you surround yourself with people who push through, who see failure as a challenge to overcome, you'll adopt that mindset too. So ask yourself, how do you react to failure? Do you let it define you? Or do you use it to refine you? Do you let it crush your confidence? Do you let it fuel your determination? Because here's the reality, failure is inevitable, but quitting is a choice. The road to success is paved with setbacks. But if you refuse to give up, if you embrace the lessons in failure, if you stand up every time you fall, then there is nothing, not one single thing. Number 5, unshakable focus, the power of relentless determination. Imagine standing in the middle of a crowded street, surrounded by noise, distractions, and endless demands pulling you in different directions. Now imagine a sniper, calm, composed, locked in on a single target. Nothing else exists in that moment except the objective. That is the power of unshakable focus. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media notifications, emails, endless entertainment, all designed to pull your attention away from what truly matters. Most people live their lives in a state of reaction, constantly shifting from one task to another, never fully committing to anything. And because of that, they never reach their full potential. But the strongest minds, the most successful individuals, operate differently. They eliminate distractions. They cut out the noise. They lock in on their goals with laser-like precision and refuse to be pulled off course. Focus is not just about working hard. It's about working smart. It's about directing your energy toward the things that move the needle, that bring real results. Most people confuse being busy with being productive. They fill their days with endless tasks, jumping from one thing to another, but at the end of the day, they've accomplished nothing meaningful. The mentally strong understand that true progress comes from deep, uninterrupted focus. Take a look at the greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and visionaries of our time. They all have one thing in common, an unbreakable ability to focus on what matters. Michael Jordan wasn't checking his phone in the middle of practice. Elon Musk isn't scrolling through social media instead of building the future. These individuals achieved greatness because they mastered the art of focus. But here's the truth. Focus isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop. It's a skill, and like any skill, it requires training. So how do you build unshakable focus? First, eliminate distractions. Most people don't realize how much their environment influences their attention. If your phone is constantly buzzing, if you're checking emails every 5 minutes, if you're surrounded by noise, your mind will never be able to reach its peak potential. The strongest minds create environments that support deep work. They turn off notifications, they set boundaries, they remove anything that pulls them away from their mission. Second, master the art of saying no. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to your true goals. People will demand your time. They will try to pull you into their distractions. But if you don't learn to protect your focus, you will never achieve anything great. The most successful people understand that their time and attention are their most valuable assets, and they guard them fiercely. Third, train your brain to focus for long periods. In a world addicted to instant gratification, deep focus is rare. Most people can't sit still for 5 minutes without checking their phone. But the people who achieve extraordinary results are the ones who develop the ability to work with intensity for hours at a time. They train their minds like athletes train their bodies, gradually increasing their ability to focus, pushing through mental fatigue, and refusing to give in to distractions. And finally, align your focus with a powerful mission. When you have a goal that truly excites you, that ignites a fire inside you, staying focused becomes effortless. The strongest minds don't rely on willpower alone. They are driven by a vision so compelling that nothing can pull them away from it. They don't wake up wondering what to do, they wake up knowing exactly what needs to be done. So here's the challenge. Look at your life right now. Are you operating with sniper-like focus, or are you allowing distractions to control you? Are you moving toward your goals with relentless determination, or are you getting lost in meaningless activity? The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent. It's not luck, it's focus. The ability to lock in on a goal, to block out the noise, and to execute with precision. Master this skill, and there will be nothing you can't achieve.